Kamala Harris may have been the so-called winner as far as the pundits are concerned, but she still didn't address the issues that Americans really care about. For example, the economy. I mean, we didn't hear anything about the economy, barely. I mean, the first question she got was on the economy, and she completely strayed. She was quite nervous. Did you notice that? I did. Dry mouth and the whole thing. Take some water, Kamala. Calm down. She was very nervous. You could hear it in her voice. You could see it in her expressions and in her body language. And she completely ignored the question that the moderators gave her. And so Americans are left saying, well, who is this lady? Is she really capable of solving my challenges? And the short answer, ladies and gentlemen, is no. This did not help Kamala Harris in terms of outlining any kind of policy, not that she has any, to the American people. And this was reflected immediately thereafter in a CNN poll. Take a look.
Look at the economy here. Who would better handle the economy is what we asked. Going into the debate, before the debate, 37% said Harris, 53% Trump. After the debate, again, margin of error stuff here, but numerically she lost a little ground. 35% said so after the debate, that she would better handle the economy. 55% said Trump, and we know that is one of his strongest suits across the polling in this election. And he seemed to hang on to that piece in this debate tonight, according to our poll of debate watchers. And
yeah, he did. He did, because Americans know just exactly how bad it is. How bad it is. I mean, my gosh, you look at inflation, you look at grocery prices, nothing that we saw on stage last night actually addressed any of those key issues. They didn't talk about any policy. For some reason, the moderators at ABC News are quite incapable of that, and we know Kamala obviously isn't. After all, Kamala didn't have any policy on her website. She threw a few things up actually yesterday, right ahead of the debate. This was classic. So she copied and pasted from Joe Biden's policy page, literally copied and pasted to the point where the source code could actually be viewed on Google. So that became the headline. She literally copied and pasted. I mean, you want to talk more in the same, just copy and paste. Well, Nate Silver, who's a big deal pollster, he's out with a warning. He's out saying, hey, hang on, don't count your chickens before they hatch, because, I'm looking at these polls and she really hasn't picked up the kind of bounce that you would have thought, say, coming out of the DNC. She's still polling very, very weakly with men, specifically white, middle-aged men in places like Pennsylvania that kind of really matter. And so consequently, he's saying, she didn't come off with perhaps the sophistication policy-wise that the American people were really craving. So he writes in his silver bulletin, by the way, he used to work for ABC. ABC acquired 538. And this is an article that was in Newsweek, paraphrasing, saying that, he's still giving Trump a better than 60% chance of defeating Harris. Or rather, he had before the debate. And he wrote in Silver Bulletin just after the debate that there was, quote, a strong consensus that Harris won the night, before cautioning that pundits might be getting a little carried away about the debate's impact. Quote, it would be surprising if this had any impact on the scale of the Biden-Trump debate, for instance, Silver wrote. Harris got the debate she wanted. If she isn't able to move the needle in the polls at least a little bit, maybe that means the country just isn't buying what she's selling. And I would say, you know what? That's spot on. No one's buying what Kamala Harris is selling. And you have only to go to some of the network focus groups that came out immediately thereafter. Before we do that, take a look here. These are the swing states where, hey, guess what? Imagine this. The economy actually matters, because the economy really stinks in places like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, and Arizona. And look at how tight it is. You think that she did anything to actually improve her standing on where she is on the economy? The short answer is